Top 20 Kindergarten Teacher Interview Questions and Answers. Interviews give you the chance to demonstrate your expertise, experience, and interpersonal abilities. It is extremely crucial for kindergarten teachers to show that they are qualified to adequately support children's academic, emotional, and social development. If you want to improve your interview and your chances of being hired for a job, prepare these top 20 kindergarten teacher interview questions and answers to boost up your confidence. 1. Why are you interested in this role? Interviewers want to know if teaching is your true calling and if you are self-driven to achieve in this field. Describe your motivations for becoming a teacher, along with how you discovered your passion for teaching and your commitment to advocating for young children, in your response. Sample answer. When I was in 6th grade, I had a teacher who was completely supportive of me as I dealt with a difficult family situation that was affecting my academic performance. She made me feel comfortable and loved, and she spent a little extra time in class with me to help me concentrate on my academics. I'll never forget how much her kindness and friendliness influenced me as a youngster, and it inspired me to aspire to be a mentor and encourage children in their personal development. 2. What are the roles of a kindergarten teacher? Roles and responsibilities are part of every employment. This question will assess whether you have sufficient knowledge of the career and has all of the necessary education and experience for the job. It's basic but attempts to include all of the critical responsibilities that the position entails. Sample answer. Kindergarten teachers' responsibilities may include creating and implementing a comprehensive teaching plan, teaching alphabet and numeracy as well as personal, social, and emotional skills, organizing learning materials and resources, motivating and stimulating children's abilities through a variety of activities and instructional methods, songs, stories, media, structured games, and so on, and assessing students' progress. 3. What are the qualities that a kindergarten teacher need to be successful? Kindergarten is the most important year in a child's academic life. It is during this stage that youngsters receive their first official year of training and are taught to new abilities such as letter sounds, number counting, and so on. As a result, this is the year in which they will build their opinions about school and learning in general. The interviewer must determine whether you have any knowledge of the attributes necessary for success. Sample answer. Passion in their work, flexibility, creativity, patience, compassion and a sense of humor are the key attributes that every kindergarten teacher should possess. These characteristics will help the kindergarten instructor succeed and simplify the teaching process. 4. What major challenges did you face during your last role? How did you manage them? Demonstrate your optimistic problem-solving attitude. Demonstrate that you are proactive and capable in the face of difficult job conditions. Perhaps you went above and beyond to fulfill a tight deadline while filling in for a coworker who was absent due to illness. Anything but related to your job. Sample answer. It goes without saying that as a kindergarten teacher, you will face issues relating to the children's cleanliness. They plainly lack hygiene, and you must take care of everything. It was my first work, and it was getting difficult for me to manage all of this, but with patience and time, I was able to do so. 5. Describe your daily routine as a kindergarten teacher. Every classroom and kindergarten schedule is different. Try to mention the most important daily tasks that every kindergarten teacher executes so that there's no issue in terms of schedule. Sample answer. In the daily lives of a kindergarten teacher, there is a lot to do. First, I go to my teaching space and work on my lesson plans in my lesson plan binder, respond to emails, and organize supplies for the day as needed. I normally keep a to-do list somewhere to keep track of what's left over from the day before, or I plan ahead. Following that, students begin to arrive in groups, and we prepare to begin the day with them. I usually assign buddy reading, read aloud, and author writing to them. More daily activities, such as announcements, lunch counts, and morning classroom duties, take place during this period. 6. Describe briefly about your experience. The open-ended inquiry, tell me about your experience, in a job interview isn't an invitation to offer an open-ended reply. Rather than meandering or simply repeating your CV, highlight a few significant experiences you've had and explain how they make you a good fit for the position you're looking for. Sample answer. I am a personable and dependable educator with 5 years of experience providing educational support and instruction to students of various levels. I've been studying and evaluating student performance, conduct, social growth, and physical health for many years. 7. What kind of strategies and mindset is required for this role? For children, a kindergarten teacher serves as a foundation. It's the stage of construction for them. As a result, in order to be effective and teach kids well, the teacher must have particular tactics and a different mindset than in other vocations. As a result, the interviewer wants to know if you have that mindset or not. Sample answer. A kindergarten teacher's job is distinct from other types of jobs. To teach them successfully, the teacher must be patient, have a compelling teaching style that appeals to the pupils, and engage them in such a way that they do not become weary and remain motivated throughout the day. 8. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this job? The interviewer usually asks this question to determine whether you want to make any changes before you start working and to see what can cause you problems. It will also offer you an indication of your degree of thought. Sample answer. Your school is quite large. The most difficult aspect of this job, in my opinion, is dealing with large groups of children in a single lesson. It will be difficult to manage them at first, but with time it will become easier, and you have a plan to create more parts for each class. As a result, it will be simple in the near future. 9. How do you stay motivated in your work? It's critical to stay motivated. If an employee lacks motivation, he or she will begin to underperform. So, the purpose of this inquiry is to learn what motivates you and how you react when you lose motivation on the work. Sample answer. I usually like teaching small children, is the ideal response. That's exactly what I do with my kids all day at home. This could be stressful for someone who is new to the area, but it has become part of our daily routine. During my teaching work, I usually get a cup of coffee and that's all it takes to relieve my stress. If I see a strategy for bringing the company forward, that is an evident element that motivates me. 10. Describe a time when you failed in this role and the lesson you learned. You become stronger as a result of your failures. The purpose of this question is to learn about a challenge or a life event in which you failed but learned a valuable lesson. This question is frequently asked to check if your failure has anything to do with your current work. As a result, the best answer could be an occurrence that is also related to the current situation. Sample answer. My first job was my biggest failure. I still recall my first day at ABC school. I was teaching, and one of my students was often misbehaving. I lost control at that point and yelled at him in a way that reflected my rage. After that, I worked on it until I was able to get control of my emotions, and that incident never happened again. 11. Why do you feel you are the most suited for this role? One of the questions you could be asked during a job interview is, why are you the best candidate for this position? If you can't answer this question correctly, it may appear that you are not confident or committed to the job. Show your complete trustworthiness in this situation. Sample answer. As I previously stated, I have over 5 years of experience in this subject, as well as a charismatic and appealing teaching approach. I am committed to giving the kids the skills they need to reach their academic goals while also creating a love of learning and teamwork. My experience will undoubtedly benefit your institute. 12. Share with us your greatest achievement. This is one of the most difficult behavioral questions in an interview. And, once again, this is not a simple task. Mention all of your accomplishments, and make an effort to include anything relevant to the position. Sample answer. My biggest accomplishment was one I made at a prior employment. In my last work, I was recognized as the best kindergarten teacher, and my students received high marks in all areas. This was my most significant achievement. 13. What would you do if your child was being disruptive or misbehaving? Explain how you are a kind, motivated teacher who enjoys working with children in response to this question. School administrators want to know how you plan to improve children's conduct, so demonstrate that you can deal with each child individually to help them develop important skills like regulating their emotions and focusing their attention. Sample answer. I would make every effort to comprehend the child's actions and determine what causes contribute to their misbehavior. Perhaps they struggle to manage their stress, or perhaps they lack fundamental social skills and find it difficult to communicate with their peers. Finding the fundamental reason, encouraging positive conduct, and discouraging disruptive behavior would be the emphasis of my behavioral treatments. I was able to do this in my previous position as well. 14. How would you prepare both parents and children for their children's first day of elementary school? The principal is looking for specific examples of how you would greet parents and children in your kindergarten classroom. Share how you intend to reassure parents that your classroom is a safe environment in your response. Demonstrate your interpersonal abilities by demonstrating how you communicate with parents in a clear and polite manner. Sample answer: I prepare ahead of time by decorating the area and making it a very welcoming environment. I label each child's desk with their name so that they know where to put their items. When the first families come, I greet them warmly and introduce myself. I make it a point to answer their questions, show them around the space, and go through my lesson plans with them. 15. How do you deal with each child's diverse learning methods and abilities? This question assesses your awareness of the individual requirements of each child you teach. Your interviewer wants to know whether you have a particular strategy in place for all types of students in your classroom and if you're familiar with a variety of learning styles, including visual, linguistic, kinesthetic, and social learning. Sample answer: I make it a point to pay great attention to each child in order to determine which students are performing well and which are lagging behind. After lesson exams allow me to examine my pupils' knowledge and determine which strategies are most effective. When creating lesson plans, I also consider differentiated instruction to ensure that every student understands crucial ideas. I enjoy presenting things in a way that accommodates a variety of learning styles. 16. What would you do if your child's parent was upset or dissatisfied? School administrators want you to outline your specific method for de-escalating tension with parents for this issue. They want to know that you can put safety first while simultaneously attending to the wants and concerns of the parents. In your response, demonstrate abilities like dispute resolution and interpersonal communication. Sample answer: when my parents are furious, I try to listen instead of reacting defensively. My top priority is to keep the parents calm, remain professional, and avoid confrontation. If I can, I try to resolve the problem over the phone or via email. But if the parents are really upset, I schedule a meeting and invite an administrator to attend. I take the time to listen to their issues, ask questions, and, if necessary, allow them to vent. 17. What is your approach to education? This question may be asked by school authorities to gauge your ability to carry out your teaching responsibilities. Describe your teaching methods and thoughts on the learning process for kindergarten students in your response. To support your answer, give specific examples of your teaching abilities and your capacity to work with young children. Sample answer: I believe in creating a classroom environment in which each kid feels appreciated, comfortable, and respected for their individual methods of expressing themselves. I recognize that children learn best when they are peaceful and safe, therefore I work hard to establish trustworthy relationships with each of my kids. Kindergarten programs must lay the groundwork for a lifelong passion for learning. As a result, I believe that learning should be enjoyable and hands-on, thus I create classes that fully involve students in interactive and playful activities. In my former role, I made it a point to schedule at least one physical exercise per day, which helped my students stay focused and less agitated throughout class. 18. What about children irritates you the most? Give an honest answer to the interviewer, with a good spin if feasible. Do not behave in such a way that the interviewer suspects you won't be able to handle the students. Just bring up a few minor irritations here. Sample answer: I do not believe that a person who is upset or frustrated by children should work as a kindergarten teacher. Working with young children, like any other career, comes with its unique set of difficulties. This is part of what makes my job so satisfying. 19. In 5 years, where do you see yourself? This question is frequently asked to learn about your plans and how you develop personal goals. Someone who has no goals is someone who has no idea where they want to go. You should have a clear strategy in place and know where you want to be in a few years. Sample answer: in 5 years, I aim to have completed my master's in school leadership and will be working as an educational administrator. 20. What qualities do you think you have as a kindergarten teacher? This question gives the interviewer an impression of your strengths, which should be related to the current role. So, strive to highlight the skills that you do have, and make sure that they are relevant to the position you are applying for. Sample answer. I have the capacity to objectively monitor each child in order to best address their specific requirements, as well as planning and organizing abilities to ensure that the day is as productive as possible. I also have the passion and good communication skills necessary to form meaningful relationships with each child.